Has NASA actually found signs of a parallel universe? Do you think parallel universe actually exists? My name's Dan, and this is Discovery Curiosity. Let's find out. Parallel universe. Do you even know what a parallel universe is? Well, a parallel universe in quantum mechanics is a universe theorized as existing alongside our own, although undetectable. So if something is undetectable, how are we ever going to know that it exists? So human beings have often been attracted to things we don't know. And those things we don't know are normally things we want to know more about. So the idea of parallel universe has been in the minds of sci-fi and comic fans since about the 1960s, but it doesn't mean that it's not something that scientists don't think about or wonder about. And speaking of scientists, NASA has been doing some experiments in Antarctica. Now they're not directly looking and searching for parallel universe, but they happen to stumble on something that is pretty bizarre when it comes to the world of physics. And normally it's kind of hard to come up with something bizarre in physics, but when it does, you just don't understand why it's doing what it's doing. So NASA has been doing experiments with ANITA, and that is the Antarctic Impulsive Transit Antenna. And what this study is they're actually looking for ultra-high energy cosmic neutrinos. And they're doing this by trying to detect radio pulses that are emitted by infractions of the Arctic ice sheet. So NASA seemed to have stumbled upon something bizarre while doing research in Antarctica. Now there are two different types of neutrinos. You have low energy and you have the high energy. Now the low energy are the ones that we aren't very interested in, and that's mainly because they're almost massless. So that means that they'll just pass right through the Earth or any solid object, and it's not something that will stop them. The ones that we're interested in is the high energy, and it's because of their shapes of these particles, it causes them to be more likely to have collisions in the path that they move along. But the funny thing that NASA said that they found is they actually witnessed these neutrinos going the opposite way, so away from Earth. This is theoretically impossible to happen, but yet it's happened. So what could cause this? Why is it that these neutrinos come in and we have them leaving? So one of the thoughts that the scientists had was that it was signs of a parallel universe. And since it's moving away from Earth, everything is reversed. So time runs backwards. And all our rules of physics would also be backwards. Another theory they had was that when one of the low energy particles entered one side of the Earth, by the time it came through, it transferred to a high energy. Now that this is extremely highly unlikely that this would happen, they are still saying that it could be a possibility. Let's look at some rules of physics. So Newton's law states that every particle remains in motion unless acted upon by an outside force. So what's to say that Earth is not the outside force? So let's take, for instance, a marble. If we take a marble and we drop it onto a padded surface, when it strikes the padded surface, most of the energy of the marble is absorbed into the pad, which makes the marble bounce up only a very slight amount. And if we decrease the amount of padding and drop the marble on that, it still absorbs a fair amount of the energy of the marble, but since it is a little thinner padding, you can see that it actually bounces up higher. But what if we remove the padding altogether? If we move the padding and it strikes a hard surface, so we have a hard particle striking another hard particle, and what this is going to create is an elastic collision. And what I mean by that is by the energy that the marble creates on a hard surface that cannot move is going to be directly reflected back up into the marble. So what's to say that this isn't happening with these neutrinos? And it's not happening every time, which it makes sense. So the neutrinos don't always collide perfectly to bounce back. But what if the neutrinos collide every now and then and get a complete elastic collision and then bounce back and showing them going the other way? All of our rules of physics explain that it could happen. The amount of force that they create when they collide is going to be tremendous, and it should technically be enough to bounce it right back out the opposite way it came, as long as the collision is in the right place. I know it's kind of a bummer that, maybe it's not really a parallel universe. So if you have any ideas on what you think could be causing these particles to be going the opposite way, comment down below, let me know. I'd love to hear your ideas. The top minds in the world are trying to figure out this phenomenon. Maybe we don't know enough about neutrinos to actually understand how their impacts are affected. Alright, so does that mean that we have another universe that we don't know about and we're just now discovering? Or is it some new laws of physics that we don't know about that we're now just discovering? Or could it all just be an error with the system? If you like this video and you want to see more like it, hit that thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, I'll see you later.